Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Zach here with Good Game Nation, bringing you a deck profile that I'm considering for the Cup. It is Go Second Zoro. Alright, so basically, with the Cup being best of one, uh, you want to play a deck that is very rewarding in that kind of format, and basically, this says you have to have it. This is Go Second Zoro. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but basically, the strat is to clearly go second. You play something on your first turn, preferably a vanilla. Then on the following turn, you play two guys, and then on the turn after that, you start swinging. If you need to rush like ahead of time, you can play a vanilla, and then the next turn you can like play a Zoro plus leader effect plus vanilla, and have three swings if need be, like into the dual color matchups. Um, I guess general questions matchup wise, the deck feels fine. I guess I don't really know how to play. It's red deck wins for those who play Magic. Um, And for those who play Dragon Ball and other things, this is just like your hyper aggro, just turn face, go sideways kind of deck. Other than that, there's not much to it, so we'll just get into it real quick. So we have to play some kind of one drops because if our opponent is smart and they make us go first, we need something to do. So we play 4 Otama. We don't ever want to use that on turn one though. That's a staple in red. We just play 4 Otama. But our turn one targets are 4 Nami, I don't need to explain it. It's another staple. It's top five. You know, everybody knows what it does now. Top five straw hat card, right? So it doesn't have to be strictly characters, which gets the majority of our deck actually, except for like VV and Psy. It picks up every other card. Oh, and I guess technically Otama. Um, and then we play three Sunny Kun because again we just need a card to play on turn one if it happens. But realistically, we're also expecting most of our opponents to be like, "Oh, I want to go first," and then that just kind of falls right into what we want. So we're okay with that. And we move on to the two drops, and we play a ton of them. There's 3 Usopp, 4 Sanji, 2 Brook, 4 Sai, 4 Rush Sanji, and 4 Vivi. Those are all 2 drops. So essentially, what that is all of those are a viable turn one play. Even if you only have the Sanji in hand, like it's fine to play Sanji on turn one. Like your next turn, he's just a 5k attacker. He's a vanilla. Who cares? The goal with the deck, 5k, 7k, things like that really matter. 9k against the decks that are super annoying. But outside of that, you don't really want to make other weird numbers. So playing these guys who, specifically Sanji and the other vanillas, the VV and the Psy, their base is 4k. So on your turn with 1 Dawn on your leader, they're 5k base. So you don't have to do anything. Playing Brook is like less optimal. You really only want to use it for combo, or if you're trying to like exert pressure and use all of your Dawn efficiently, then I guess you can play it on the board. I play Sanji a lot, like the 2 cost counter. I'll combo out of an attack from my opponent, and then take that same life with this effect and hit them with an 8k for free, basically. Um, like you'll jet pistol something, or you'll play like you'll swing leader, and then you'll be like, all right, cool, play Zoro, swing Zoro, activate Sanji, move 2 Dawn, swing 8, and so you're like 668. They're awkward numbers, but whatever, burn some 2Ks. Um, there's a lot of blue purple at my local specifically, and I think creeping up across the board, people are starting to realize that blue purple is actually really, really good because it has access to all of the good 4K counters, right? Like Love is broken. Love and Crocodile is even more broken. And so that's why we play the Usopp. Usopp is like he's our guy in the matchup, you know? You don't mind playing him on 1, you don't mind playing him on 2. Even though he's a 2K counter, he's actually really good for the matchups. You put 1 Dawn on him, he's a 5K attacker. That's why we don't mind playing him in our list. And also make sure your opponent not want to do things. And in the blue matchup, you swing with him first so that they can't uh, overheat. They can't overheat bounce back to your hand, so you swing with it. And if they overheat, they can't choose that as a target. You're still going to draw the card. So sequencing matters a little bit. Well, actually, sequencing matters a hell of a whole lot with this deck. Um, your sequencing matters, your math numbers, your that's what matters, and knowing when to attack and when not to attack, like that's what matters. Um, that's it for the 2 drops. Then we move on to the 3 drops. We play 4 Nami because it's again it's just efficient with us, right? Like it's a 6K. It clears little blockers. It clears little threats that can get over our small guys who actually become very annoying. Like I can't tell you how many times a Nami has dealt 2 damage, burned a card out of their hand, and taken an attack. And if they don't respect it and they swing 3K into it, I will burn a 2K. Like I will force you to do something else about it because I'll just swing at you again. A lot of people don't see that coming, and it kind of throws them off guard, and then they don't know what to do, and they run around with their heads cut off. So playing the Robin keeps the board state in a position that we want it to be in. Against the green matchup, you can double Otama a 7-drop kid, and you can kill it off that if you don't have like your jet pistol. Um, Honestly, another thing why we don't really fear that deck is because we can just play Otama, make him a 5K blocker, and then swing with everything on our board that's 5. So uh, that Robin just adds to the security basically of what we already want to do. And then we play 4 Zoro because it's standard. It's our 3-drop. It's a 6K rush on play basically. Um, Nothing else to say. It's searchable. Card's nuts. Luffy is also just broken because again we go second. So the I'll get into it after the numbers. It'll kind of make a little more sense when I tell you. But basically, what happens is we have 7K attackers, 6 to 7K attackers from our turn 2 onward. So going second, we open up. We have 2 mana. We play vanilla. Then on the following turn, we have 4 mana. We put 1 on our leader. We have a 6K leader. Then we have a 5K vanilla. Or you swing the vanilla first, then you swing leader. And then you play the 3-drop Zoro. So from turn 2, now we have a rush target, right? So boom, we swing 6K. Then on the following turn, we have 6 mana. So we put 1 on our Zoro. We could even go 2 on our Zoro to make him 7K to push the correct number if we want to, and then use the remaining 4 Dawn to play the Sanji. The 2, and then add the 2 to him, and he becomes a 7K attacker. So turn 2, we have a 6K rush. Turn 3, we have a 7K rush. And turn 4, we have a 7K rush with our leader as well, with the Luffy. So turn 4, we'll have exactly 8 mana or 6 mana. Sorry, turn 3, we'll have 6 mana, and we put the 1 on the leader, and then we have the 5, so we swing the 7K. So essentially, you just have back to back to back to back turns of constant pressure in this deck, and that's what matters the most. Also, note Luffy hits 9K with 2 Dawn. That's broken. That's like if you stick a Usopp on board and then you just swing with Luffy's, your opponent's like, well, I guess you can draw a card and I'll lose a card, and eventually you just grind them out that way. Then we round off the deck with 2 John Bay. Basically, as you've noticed, there's just pressure after pressure after pressure. So once you get your opponent down to 1 life, no life, you have this card in hand. You kind of feel like you win. This is like your Champa in Dragon Ball. This is your it's like your crucial hand trap. You know, uh, if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, other decks like that, it's just like it feels like it's your safety net almost. Almost always feel like I'm going to win the game when I see John Bay. And then we play 4 Jet Pistol because blockers are the bane of our existence, especially the 6K ones. And thanks to some of the guys out in Florida, the blue crocodile with 6K, the starter deck one, is becoming more and more popular, along with Queen. So we just want to have the outs. We just always want to have the out. Jet pistol's the out. Just get rid of it on site. If they block, get rid of some cards. That's cool too. I don't mind that. And then just get rid of it. Yamato is a problem. So we jet pistol Yamato. We jet pistol blocker law if we need to. We jet pistol uh, opposing Luffy's, I guess, if you need to. There's another card I'm thinking of too, but I can't think it's on the top of my head. I'm sure I missed it. Tell me where. Well, basically, Jet Pistol's just cracked. Oh, Basil Hawkins. There we go. Um, Basil's very annoying for our deck because we always want to be turned sideways. So the green matchup is something you have to play properly. I don't want to say it's unfavored. I don't want to say it's favored. I want to say it's a skill based matchup that you have to play properly. And your Jet Pistols really matter on which target you choose to use them on. Outside of that, that's pretty much the deck in a nutshell. You have a, you have a few tech choices, I guess, like the Usops. You can move around. You could move around other counts if you want. Try to incorporate like a Shanks, a couple chopper blockers, some Yasops, maybe some Ben Beckhams. Yeah, any of those things you could do. I prefer the consistency, so we're sticking with this. I'm sure I might change a couple cards leading up to the cup, but so far this feels very good. Your opening hand, honestly, you kind of just wing it. If you're going, you see, ideally you win the die roll, we go second, and if we go second, we're looking for like Jambay, Luffy, Nami, double vanilla, or some kind of instead of Luffy, just some kind of rush target, Nami, double vanilla. If we're going first, we want to see like Nami slash Sunny with Robin with uh, Jet Pistol. Like that's ideally what you want going first because you want to be able to stake Robin and then Jet Pistol and control the game from there. Then you can start like spurting out attacks. But ideally, you always want to see a vanilla or two. You always want to see Nami. Rush cards are never bad. And I guess like the best piece of advice I could give is to combo to save your board correctly. Don't do it all the time. Don't do it because this I can do this. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Um, but there are going to be times where protecting a Nami or protecting a Zoro or a Vanilla is going to be extremely beneficial. And obviously, if you can protect the Luffy, you protect the Luffy. But there's so many cards in the game that just get rid of it, out it, that you don't really end up getting the chance to protect it. But if you can, obviously protect the Luffy because it just sets you up the next turn for 2 Dawn with a 9K swing that's unblockable. With a deck like this, the most important thing to remember is to play to your outs. Understand your game plan is to be very aggressive. You are the aggressive deck. You are I'm going to go ahead and turn my card sideways. Do you have the counter power? No? Okay, cool. Good game. And in the best of one, that's kind of the best you can ask for from a game state wise. You get to attack your opponent, which progresses the game state, while taking the biggest luck factor and just pitting it against each other from the jump. Like, do you have the counter? Do you not have the counter? So your sequencing is going to matter and your numbers matter. But outside of that, the deck kind of just, it will falter. But as long as you play to your outs, I feel like you'll have more success than not with this deck. And don't think there's anything else I want to add to it. If you guys have any kind of suggestions, any kind of cards you think I might want to play, I know someone mentioned Bartholomew. There's just I don't think I'm going to see a lot of Shanks, so I feel like I'm not going to need to play Bartholomew. Um, and again, I don't know. Quick tidbit: if you notice, this deck is very all gas, no brakes. There's no blockers in the deck. There's hardly any combo power or hardly any non-combo power. I think it's 18 cards, I believe. and for a red deck, that's like insanely small. Um, but yeah, outside of that, that is the list. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to add, anything you think I'm crazy for doing, anything I'm crazy for not doing, feel free to let me know. I will take your comments and think about it. Um, outside of that, I also wanted to mention that we will be doing some kind of giveaway on the channel soon. Uh, I want to say we're giving away play sets of colors. We're gonna still figuring out all the logistics, things like that. But be on the lookout. Check our Twitter. Check the videos. All that good stuff. More of that to come. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you stuck around, make sure like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate it all. And we'll catch you all on the next one. Deuces.